So as you can tell from the title of this video, we're going to be talking about men and why we don't think it's cool to let out our emotions. Before we get started, let's just clear one thing up. I am a strong believer in you must act off logic versus acting off emotion. Because when you act off emotion, 9 times out of 10, they always steer you wrong. The first emotion that comes from getting emotional is always anger. You allow your anger to take you somewhere that you don't want to go, and then your logic has to deal with that emotional decision later. I am a strong believer in act off logic first, then allow your emotions to die down and then process them that way. Since birth, a lot of men have been conditioned to believe that showing any sign of emotion is a sign of weakness. To ask for help is a sign of weakness. To say that you're hurt, to say that this hurt your feelings, to say that this made you down, this made you sad, is a form of weakness. That is one of the most detrimental things to a person's mind that you could ever put in there. Because as a human being, you need to be able to express yourself. You need to be able to say what's on your mind. You need to be able to get certain things off your chest. You need to be able to let out certain things that make you feel certain ways. When you grow up in a time where it's not cool to say that you're sad, it's not cool to say that I'm hurt, it's not cool to say that I feel pain, you start to internalize. And one of the most detrimental things you can do as a human being is internalize a feeling, because that feeling isn't there for no reason. You obviously had to either go through something or something made you feel that way, and so you have this, wow, I don't know what's going on inside, I don't know why I feel this way, and then you just internalize it because the world says shut the fuck up, keep it inside. And then what that does is, when you don't work something through, when you feel something and don't work it through, you internalize it and it manifests. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until you become an adult, and now you don't know how to properly convey feelings. You don't know how to not be the way you've always been, because you've never been given that outlet to let certain things out. I'll use myself as an example. When I was in elementary school, between elementary school to middle school, it kind of stopped when I was an adult, or high school. It kind of stopped in high school. I would always get teased because I was always the fat guy. I was always the fat kid, the big kid. Oh, and it was always this one phrase, fat ass. It was always there. And I know it may be kind of funny now, but back then, as a kid, keep in mind, I'm in an environment to where I can't necessarily say, this hurt my feelings. I can't necessarily say, I need you to stop doing that because I feel this way, because I don't want to seem weak. I don't want to seem weaker than I already seem to the people around me, because there is a sense of power that you need in yourself to be able to traverse the streets, to traverse the landscape of places that I've grown up in, and I'm pretty sure maybe you've grown up in. You grew up in the hood, you grew up, in inner cities is what they call it. And you need to be tough to grow up in that environment, because that environment will chew you up and spit you out. Not being able to say what I needed to say, I internalized that. And constantly hearing it every single day of my life almost, I started to believe that that's who I was. I started to believe that, wow, I truly am the fat kid. I am the fat ass that they call me. And you couple that with, I'm a boy at this time. I'm a boy. I want attention from girls. I want to seem cool to girls. I want to talk to girls. But even the girls were saying it. And now it's like, you got the cool guys that get to talk to the girls and stuff calling me, and then you got the girls who I want to be around at that age saying it. The old saying goes, if everybody's saying it, it must be true. So you believe that, and that's how you view yourself. You view yourself as that thing because you could never express how it was hurting your feeling. You could never express how it truly made you feel. So what did you do? You said nothing about it. You put it deep inside and you allow it to fester. You allow it to get too big to the point to where it explodes. And it usually explodes in the form of violence, panic attack, anxiety attack, all of this stuff. And so my mindset from that age until I became a young adult, even when I was small and in shape, it was that I was fat. I just didn't view myself as being attractive. Because I had internalized these feelings for so long, they became me. My feelings became who I was. When in all actuality, that's a lie. I'm not the person that they say I am. They're just being rude. They're just being mean. That's just what they do because they're hurting inside. They are hurting inside and they don't know how to deal with it. So the only way that they know how to act on those feelings is to make you feel just as bad, if not worse. That's how it happens. That's how it works. So when a man is put in a similar situation, it may not be because of his size. It may be because of, lack of finances. It may be because people may deem that he looks weird. It may be for whatever reason. There is always going to be a reason to let out an emotion, to let out a feeling. But because we were never given that option, we internalize it, and then we grow up and wonder why we're so stressed. We grow up and wonder why we're so depressed, why we're so anxious, why we can't commit to things, why we can't do the things that we want to do. Is just something that we don't know is stopping us from continuing on. If you have a certain thing that stops you from progressing in life and you can't put your finger on it, 9 times out of 10, and I'm willing to bet, it is a feeling that is deep inside you that you have not expressed yet because you were never given the outlet to do so. You were never given a reason to let out why you feel the way you feel. For whatever reason, you were never given that outlet. And it manifested itself, and now you're this person that doesn't know anything, or you don't know how to do certain things, or you don't know how to get to the next level. And I'm here to tell you that understand the person who you feel you are and the person who you actually are sometimes not the same person. Sometimes there's a conflict between the label that was put on you that you believe and the person you actually are. And when you get to a certain age, when you get stressed out all the time, you get depressed and you don't know why. You get anxious and you don't know why. It's because there's a conflict of who you know you are and who you've always been. That conflict causes you to feel down all the time because there's 2 sides of you going at it constantly and you don't know what's really going on. It is literally you fighting the person you used to be. It's literally like that. You're coming out of your shell, you're breaking out of your comfort zone. And when you break out of your comfort zone, it's just this weird feeling of what the hell is going on? What is all this stuff around me? What is going on? I don't know how to manage being this person because I've always been this person. Understand that as a man, it is okay to cry. It is okay to let out feelings of regret, feelings of sadness, feelings of pain. It is okay to ask for help. It is okay to get a hug sometimes, man. It is okay. My homeboy, my own homeboy, he's probably gonna hate me for saying this, but when I had my first panic attack, I had 2 panic attacks. My first, and it was one of the worst feelings in the world. I was screaming at the top of my lungs. I was going crazy in my apartment. He called me. I told him what happened. He came to my house. He chopped it up with me. Oh my God. He came to my apartment and he gave me a hug. We 2 grown men. He gave me a hug because he understood that at that moment I needed somebody to understand that I was hurting so bad on the inside, that it was so much that it came out. I tried so hard to keep that person under wraps, but it came out of me. And that's what happens when you don't deal with these things that affect you at a young age. You can't just expect for it to go away. You can't light a fire in your living room and then expect for it to go out. It's gonna grow until it consumes your whole house, and then it might consume the whole neighborhood. You have to deal with that thing before it becomes something that you don't want to deal with. So, man, I know this video is a little lengthy. I know it's a little long, but you know, and I could just keep going on and on and on because this is a big topic that needs to be talked about a lot. But I really hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you are a guy, person, woman, man, woman, whatever, and you feel as though you need to reach out and talk to somebody, I know it's hard to find people to confide in, especially in today's times, but you owe it to yourself to at least try. I went to counseling for 2 months. Best decision of my life. If you can't find anyone in your immediate family or your friends, counseling. You owe it to yourself to get better. You owe it to yourself to let these things out in a controlled and comfortable environment, in a safe place, right? So with that being said, man, I really hope y'all enjoyed this video. Remember, if you ever feel like you need to reach out, there are plenty ways to do it. There are plenty people that are literally egging you on to win, and they are willing to talk to you. They may not verbalize it, but there are some people out there that are willing to talk to you about what's going on inside. With that being said, man, here again, hope y'all enjoyed this video. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Till next time, deuce.